something to keep an eye on.
I think the broadcast is going to hit, so I just want to make sure Johnny is going to unplug it while we're still in executive.
We have one last item in the executive.
That's fine. Are we do? Yep, I told him to come in.
I'll wait a minute.
Is the box test slide? Do we do it?
I plugged the camera back in, so it should.
Okay. Council is now in regular session and has been in executive for about the last 55 minutes. They did take action on item 4A, the water and sewer. About 8 o'clock this morning and has taken some action on items listed earlier. Under 4A, they approved the FY26 water and sewer budgets. Under 4B, they approved the FY26 facility maintenance budget. Under 4C, they approved the FY26 indirect costs budget. Under 4D, they approved the FY26 general fund budget. And they did take action under 4E to appoint Mark Duffy as Utility Commission member. We will move on the agenda to community comments. Charlie, we're all ears.
Right up there.
I was over at the neighborhood union meeting, and they were talking about their, ended up at our renters' rates meeting the day after, and they had said something about, I was thinking about Michelle's house and inefficiencies about possibly like, so if there are people that are in housing or anything like that, and they are not thinking correctly about their situations, and I think it could probably be tested, and like things that are going to be systemic problems and just not addressing them, what are the primary things that they are looking at so that these situations don't turn into emergencies. that what helped me, unfortunately, one of my friends ended up getting a payday loan, and it was kind of bad. And so I wanted to start saving money. But then I noticed that I didn't have to be in the queue anymore at work or anything like that. And that wasn't my primary concern. Was like, how am I going to smoke? How am I going to get this? How am I going to get that? So money had been the primary there. Where what I was primarily thinking about, and after I stopped thinking about that, then I could start thinking about other things that were affecting me terribly. So those, so say we show us house, and if there could be like a grant or something to give people that in the federation somewhere that they don't have a deadly vice and are like working and paying rent and all this and that they could be housed. Just so if they don't have insurance, well, the federation probably would, but so if they didn't have things like that to like, the other thing that I was over in Washington IGA at, there was the flag was being flown in the distress signal above the deli. And I was thinking that would have been, I mean, at the micro level, possibly Red Cook could send maybe workers, if that's what they, if there was any kind of government to government, hey, fly one of these flags in the distress signal, and maybe we could come and help out at the very micro level, maybe with one or two workers or something like this, you know what I mean? Just for community outreach or things like that. I think that's pretty close to it. There was like a large poplar in the road this morning, like 5 a.m. up on Gailey. And it always seems like there's always, when I go through there's always like a vehicle that will go by. I don't know what it is exactly, but it just always seems like there's, I don't know what, sometimes there's like gloves on the side of the road and I end up getting paranoid or anything like that. But those are just like, I don't know if they're here or there and can't really say anything other than. So there was a glove tacked up at Wonder Street, and I had thought that it might have been murdered or missing indigenous women. And I was like, well, that's like a broad. The whole house, like is there like is there, could business be damaged or is there like a murder there or something like that, you know what I mean? So that was just kind of, it was too broad, so for the murder missing indigenous women to be like, I don't know exactly how I would even go into like the marketing and all this and that, something like at that level, but that was, in any case, I had at Grumpy's, Kendall was for one of my friends had worked all the way since he was a child down there, and so when I was older, and he was never had any kind of health care or anything like that, because they can't pay that, allegedly. But I think that they could be maybe like a yoga instructor or something like that, to just like some general benefits of, like in that direction. And in communism, they would have, because I was at a court, and they were talking about stuff like this, they were saying that you're entitled to the amount that you pay for the restaurant to reimburse the restaurant if it goes to turns on fire or whatever, and then you are all the funds have to go to the employees. They all get split divided. Otherwise, they're like stealing your labor. You're not really. What is the restaurant owner doing? Right? They're not going in there and making the food hygienic or making, So that was like the sole labor that it was instructed. And, I don't know, there's another thing about this financial piece coming up, this capital stuff, about Stephen Lambert, etc. And I'm, my general theory is something about that is, most of this is luxury items, and that's, you know, it's extras. You don't really need a lot of this stuff to live comfortably. So like say the Amish or something like that, you generally construct things that are, you know, so all this wizardry is all luxury, and therefore there's a bit of allowance for nefarious whatever. But this is all the life there is in the universe, allegedly. And if you pay your dues or whatever, you shouldn't like just get shackled for all eternity if it's unnecessary. Like it's flipping burgers, an absolute necessity is, all the other things. If it isn't absolutely necessary, maybe we should be like traveling the globe or whatever. So that's about, and of course multiplying like I am. So if you're making something that is alive, dead, then it is making gold into lead, right? And humans are here because, well, I think that the canines and the carnivores go a little too far and they eat you while you're alive, and humans can just shut you off like that. So I think it's completely ethical to eat flesh, but if it is not, if it doesn't have to die a horrible death, right? It doesn't have to sit there and suffer for all of eternity. We can all have like eating or go back to eating. So if they eat well, we eat well, right? And we'll just have to figure things out from there. I don't know, not exactly sure.
Thank you for your observations and insights, Riley.
Come up. Sorry.
Gonna tell you to wait in line, but you're the line.
What do I push?
The right one.
Right one? All right, you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I don't know if I didn't introduce myself. A lot of you know who I am. Mr. Perry, Lieutenant Gabo in the group. My name is Dave Gabo, Chicago County, Chippewa. We wish for having me here. We wish for listening. I just have some communities chit-chatting. I don't know if you guys are hearing any chit-chat, but there's chit-chat, there's chatter. Some folks would rather not come up here to talk to you guys, I guess, because, well, some of them are employees of use, and right here, and they don't know how to use their voice, right? And some of them may have that fear that we all do. You guys, each and every one of you guys sitting there know exactly what I'm talking about, correct? Yes or no?
Okay.
Oh, which, right? Because I will ask you guys individually if you guys understand. Do we have that understanding? Okay. So we could be civil and community members and try to fix this in a good way, or we could sit there and pick on each other all day long and things aren't going to get resolved. We're adults, right? And we have to make things move in a good way. When things don't move in a good way, it creates chaos. And I'm seeing a lot of chaos right now. At home, you know, and we can't mirror what's happening in DC. You know, we have to be better than that, okay? And that starts at the top, right? With the 9 of you guys sitting right there. And not only the 9 of you guys, but the head of the administration as well, the chairwoman and the vice chair, okay? You guys are the examples and the epitome of how we should be running, right? With respect, humility, right? Courage, honesty, all of our 7 teachings. And if we're not following those 7 teachings, we're out of bounds, right? I'll admit it. I put some kids on Facebook a few weeks back, right? And man, it blew up, you know. Maybe that was the intention, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Others use that platform for their own personal gain and their own personal whatever to attack. I wasn't attacked. This is our community, right? Okay, I care. I'm invested in just as much as everything else in this community as you guys are, right? Since the top administrators are also the chairman and the vice chair, how does the accountability come from? Or how, let me read this again, where does the accountability come from? And how is it documented for the community to see?
You're specifically referencing my position and Rick's position, elected positions?
Not elected, it's not just elected, you guys are also the head administrators. That's my question. Where does the accountability come from and how is that documented for the community to see?
As elected officials, our accountability is at the election.
Just the election? How was it held throughout the year?
As employees, we follow the same personnel policies that other employees follow. I'm not sure exactly, I mean, with no examples, it's hard for us to even have, I don't read between the lines and I can't,
No, we don't need to read between the lines. It's very broad, and you guys understand the broadness of we could be vague, right? Let's be vague. You guys are the top administrators and have to set a better example, in my opinion.
in your opinion, Nick, and you're entitled to that, and so is the rest of the
Can you explain
membership.
which policy outlines the administration and how is it reviewed and how can members access that policy?
I don't know which policy you're trying to allude to.
You just mentioned you follow policy like everybody else, correct? Okay, where can members find that policy so we can hold you guys accountable?
You're talking about the employee handbook.
You guys are elected officials. It does not matter if you guys are employees or not.
Our duties are laid out in the
Council,
Constitution.
you guys need to realize that these guys are elected officials. This isn't a personal attack. You guys work for the people. We need to make that perfectly clear. Each and every one of you guys sitting up there is a steward of record.
Elected by the majority of the voters.
Exactly. Honey, I know how you guys need to realize that I sat in your seats before and I understand how this works. Okay? Can you answer my question?
I'm not sure what the exact question is, Nick, related to policy for accountability.
Since the top administrators are also you and Rick, the chairwoman and the vice chairman, where does the accountability come from and how is that documented for the
Nick, what are you
It
trying to
comes
hold
from
us
the
accountable
voters,
for?
Nick. That's why we're elected, by
I
the majority of
respect,
the voters.
I'm talking to my elected officials. I respect legal's counsel and what you guys do, but I'm talking to my elected officials. I appreciate that.
That would be,
Oh, sorry, I thought that was the question.
no. I said, what are you trying to hold us accountable for? Nick? What are you saying we're not being held accountable for?
I'm not just asking questions.
It sounds like you're saying we're not being held accountable.
I'm not, this isn't a personal attack. With
No, I
respect.
understand that, Nick, and
This is a fair question.
And I'm saying this respectfully. What exactly are you trying to hold us accountable for?
The community,
Are you saying that we're not doing something, we're doing something wrong, and we're not being held accountable?
what if it happens in the workplace? Who holds you to accountable?
No, again,
No, can you answer my question, please? Rick, if it happens in the workplace, who holds you to accountable?
this tribal council holds us accountable.
Okay, great. That is amazing. I want each and every one of you guys to hear what the vice chairman just said. And don't be scared. It's politics. It's not personal. I've heard Rick say that many times. And if you do for one, you got to do it for all. Mr. Peterson, I've served with you 6 years.
Yeah.
Laura, I've served with you 4. Butch, I've served with you 3. Right? I understand things that happen on that side of the table. What our community doesn't understand is what happens on this side of the table. And you guys need to be a little more transparent in how things are addressed for our community. That's some advice. Don't you think so, Mr. J?
I think good advice is good for all of us.
Absolutely. But you're voted by the community as well.
You're right, I am.
Responsibility to the community is first and foremost when you sit on that seat. Transparency is number 1. Governance, you got to trust our government. Right? And we got to hold you guys accountable. And if we can't see that, we have to come to you guys and explain it. And if it comes down to a vote, you guys got to take action. You know, you can't be intimidated by who you're sitting next to, and it can't be cookie. I'm not trying to tell you guys how to sit on your seat, but I've sat there from experience, and it's tough. You got to humble the heck down, you know?
I would ask you as a council member, you know, if you got some questions, bring them up.
I have tons of questions.
I don't need you to preach to me about accountability. I'm an accountable community member and a council member. I hear you. I encourage you to give us some examples or your exact questions so we can help.
I would rather say the examples because I like to observe, right? I like to watch. You know, I like to sit like how the bear does and just observe and see how things pertain and how they roll out. You know, and I also like to listen because that's how you learn about how things are happening inside your community. You know, I'm not saying our community is horrible. It isn't. It's our home. I love it here. You know, I do see the good. You know, but we have to definitely find better ways to treat each other and learn how to incorporate our set of values at the top and follow those all the way down through all our enterprises, not just the casino or whatever. You know, it's got to be at the BCC, the CCC, the BPA, it's got to be at the dump, it's got to be at the clinic, it's got to be right here at the cultural center, it's got to be at the gas station, you know, it's got to be everywhere. We got to make sure we practice that. You know, we're a reflection of who comes into our community, and when they leave here, you know, we want them to come back too, because, you know, we rely on economics as well, right? Or we try to, you know. And I understand that we're funded, and I understand what the date is. You got September 30th at the end of the fiscal year, and gosh dang, I hope we don't have another spend. That'd be, I know all about those, you guys. Yeah, these go to, going like this, and I can see it, you know. It's horrible. I understand it, you know. You gotta get on, Laura. You gotta get on that accounting, you know, buck 'em up. You know, this is me right here telling, you know, I'm sitting here as a citizen now, not on that side of the table. I got to serve as a citizen now. We gotta, you know, I got ears, I can hear what's going on, you know. But these are things. I ain't gotta see your paperwork to understand what's going on. You guys gotta fix it. You gotta do it good, without harassing each other, beating each other up. Yes, we're talking all the time. We're not. We know that.
I don't harass you.
No, I'm not saying you are. What I'm saying is, you know, maybe you misconstrued my harassment as a different word. Like, what I meant is that we don't need to like pick on each other and disagree with one another, and we don't need to agree all the time with each other, and we don't need to do that. That's how people are just programmed to be. It's okay to have disagreements and not approve everything, right? And it's okay to yank the ear a little bit, you know? I mean, we all have those old grandmas and grandpas and shit. Your mom and dad are up there yet, man. You know, they still scare the shit out of me, man. You know, that's why I know it. You know, and it's, you gotta remember those values and how we carry ourselves. And I'm not saying I'm the perfect example of that. I got my flaws too, right? But I'm not gonna ever shut up regardless of what platform it's on and how I portray my words. You know, when people are trying to silence you, that's just another form of well, it's like violence, you know, it's trying to shut you up. It's, you know, it's kind of what Gestapo leaders do, you know, all that other stuff. You guys understand history. You know, you remember history. You remember that, so you don't play it out in the future. Right? You gotta remember your mistakes so you don't make them in the future. I do appreciate you guys sitting and listening to me. However, I want you all to know that in order to have truth, honesty, transparency, you got to be able to hold those accountable all the time, in question, regardless. Our kids hold us accountable. It's no different in the workplace or in leadership. It's tough. Believe me, you gotta have thick skin in this game. And if you don't, you gotta learn how to have it. People are gonna talk shit about you every day. You know, you're not gonna want to go in public. What's that?
It's not kind. Why would we accept that?
I don't agree, and it's okay to disagree in that.
It is okay to agree to disagree, and it isn't kind of, oh, I'm sorry, but that's the price you pay as an elected official.
Absolutely. And I've lived in this community my whole life,
Absolutely.
and I've been on both sides of the table.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all, and I'm
life.
speaking here as a community member, and you may all think that this may not be the time or the place to say these things that I want to say, but this is.
And you know where I live, you're welcome to come see me anytime.
You guys,
Yeah.
this is open for the community to see. It's not a private conversation. Dave, you understand that? I don't need to go to people's houses or call people on the phone. This is my council. This is our council. Do we
It's
have
your
everything?
opinion, and you are very entitled to share that with us.
Thank you
today.
for understanding that. I appreciate that very much. You wish. But I need you and the rest of you to understand that our people are going to start holding you guys accountable.
I have nothing to hide.
I didn't say you have nothing to hide. Usually those that state they have nothing to hide are the ones with the deep pockets that pull up the most that are hiding. I've just past experiences.
Nick, I offer something. You just talked to all of us and you're trying to tell us how
I'm not telling anything
about,
Please
about
you
the
try to
seven
understand.
teachings, love, respect, honesty,
I
courage.
didn't have to look those up. You should know those by
Hey,
heart.
you don't, I don't need you to tell me how to memorize something.
Honey, hey,
We're
I
out-
voted for you, now you
No,
please,
we're talking about
No,
memorization
you're a
now.
seated elected official now.
So
I will sit, no, Dave,
I offer this to you. I learned my 7 teachings just like you do. We all learn our own ways. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This accountable in my role, we're a unified body. We make choices and decisions that are different from one another. We're not following a guideline or the norm that you would call it. So
I'm not saying it's a
respect you coming
guideline
up here
or a
and
norm,
talking,
Dave.
but
You're misinterpreting what I'm saying as well. You're the old guy that still follows that saying, yes, sir.
well, how about this?
No, I know it because you're a retired military man, Dave. Don't, please, just sit
Don't,
and listen.
let's not
I voted for you
condescending,
too
you know,
because
to
I
each other.
respected who you were as a military man, but now I'm seeing you're just a yes man.
You don't know me.
You're right.
If I
You've been out of the community for a lot of years.
I would like to ask.
Then you decided to move home and just be a part of.
Nicholas, Misty has a comment.
I really appreciate you coming forward, Nick, and it's empowering, your words really are. And when I was elected on to council, I had spoke with my spiritual advisor, and I said, do you have any advice for me as I carry out these next 2 years and how to do that in a good way? And he said, there's one thing you can do to do that, and it's always be teachable. Always have those conversations. Take what people are saying to you and reflect on it. How can you walk tomorrow in a better way than you did today? And so I'm taking this moment right here as an opportunity to hear the things from my community and say, how can I walk tomorrow in a better way? How can I help foster and guide our community members to healing and growth? And that's why I started in here first. And so these moments we can take as criticism and get defensive, or we can take it as opportunities to reflect and to think, how can we walk tomorrow in a better way for our community? Be patient.
I was asking if I could speak. Be good for your words. And yes, you know, I'm here as a community member, and Misty, thank you for those words. I'll take the opinions, and they are my opinions. But as you sit in those seats, that's a humbling seat. That's humility right there. You know, that's the teaching here, is humility. To be sitting right there in that seat. And to hear that from me, I should be teaching or letting or reminding you guys of teachings. Those should be a reminder every day as you sit in those offices and practice those. You know? Sitting in those seats is a privilege. You represent us. Right? How you walk, how you talk, how you carry yourself. Right? Monday through
I have to set
Tuesday.
up teachings on my desk, Nick.
That's fine.
For
You know?
everybody to read.
Oh, very much. Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, you don't gotta tell me. You know, I just do. You know, I just do. You know, I don't need to have them on my desk. You know, but sometimes I'm a little asshole. And I know that. Right? Actually, know that people share the same birthday. June 2nd. They're assholes. But, you know, I'm gonna speak my mind, and I'm gonna forever speak my mind. And I'm going to forever be here to hold you guys accountable until I start seeing some biology. You know what I mean? I respect you guys. I do. I respect the hell out of you guys. It takes a lot of work to sit up there and to take tongue lashes for people. Believe you me. Trust me. I know. It sucks. But that's the price we pay as being politicians and loving our community and wanting to see the best for it. Right? You know? But you gotta be open to what it is that the community says and listen to that openness and be ready for it, you know? Be ready silent, and if our government's gonna start silencing our people, are you gonna see push back in our? So, I'm just, you know, what you guys, it's not a, I'm just, that's the government we live in, it's my amendment right? You guys swore an oath. The
I appreciate
Constitution of the
your
United States.
I appreciate your words and your opinions. I'm just gonna say that you're right, it does come at the top, you know, but I know what I do. That's what keeps me going every day. I know what I do and what I don't do. So if anybody's ever got questions, they can come ask me. I'm an honest person.
Yeah, again, you know, and you gotta make yourself available for that and presentable because, you know, it's tough. We don't like hearing negative shit, you know, and our chairman just said that it's hard, you know, and I seen Rick the other day going to Peterson's at 9:58, you know, and I understand that, you know, but I was the same person there as I was over here. I couldn't change that. People voted for who they got, and that was me every day, you know, and I'm going to be that till the day I die. And you guys shouldn't change who the fuck you guys are either, you know. That's who we voted for. But right here, you know, Dave, just remember why you're there, though. You know, you're there for record, right? You're there for record. And record is who? Our people. Okay? That's all I got, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Dave.
Out.
Any other community comments this morning? Cheryl was not here for community comments, guys, she's here for land access. Moving to minutes, August 3rd, 4th, 13th, 14th, 19th, and 21st. You heard a request from Butch earlier, who's asking the table a couple of those.
Council, I'm asking them to table the August 13th, 14th, and 21st until the next meeting.
Consideration for approval of August 4th and 19th only. And table the others. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for August 4th and August 17th, 2025, with changes as needed.
Motion by Rick,
I'll second it.
second by Laura. No, we'll make a table the other ones. Unless you want that to be included in the motion, but I think it complicates it.
I'll make a motion to table, oh, go ahead.
Say aye.
Aye.
Abstentions. Motion carries. We'll have the other motion to table.
I'll make a motion to table the 13th, 14th, and 21st of August meeting.
Motion by Laura, second by Kathy to table August 13th, 14th, and 21st. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, abstentions, motion carries. Moving to the treasurer's balance sheet for July 2025. Please give your packet.
Good morning again, if you need, in your packet, you'll see the treasurer's balance sheet for the month ending 7/31/25. There is one request that I am going to ask after this one. I've been going through these accounts quite often and trying to figure out where they belong and what they're for and stuff. And there's a lot of them that were changed due to the audit closing and I'm not sure if there's any questions.
questions? If not, we can council action on the balance sheet, and then Laura has a second request as part of the monthly presentation to close that one account.
I'll make a motion to.
Whatever,
Okay.
it's accept on the agenda.
Motion to accept balance sheet for July 2025.
Second.
Motion is by Butch, second by Missy. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions,
I abstain.
one abstention, motion carries.
Okay, the second request is, if you go look at the balance sheet that titled GADE, and the amount of $27,826.37, I'm requesting the council to close that account, and that balance will be moved into the FY25 general fund. Those dollars are pertaining to the old First American Prevention Center.
I'll make a motion.
I'll accept Shania and Davey one second.
Yep.
Motion by Shania to accept the recommendation to close account number 1221, second by David. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, abstentions?
Aye.
One abstention, none, motion carries. Thank you so much, Laura, for getting that done.
Thank you, council.
Next, we have land office requests. Council has a copy of the packet and Wade is here today for any questions. And Cheryl is also for the one. The first one is a cancellation.
Council, in the packet prepared by the land office, the first item is cancellation, voluntary cancellation of Mark Wilkins and Alex Wilkins lease. They're voluntarily relinquishing that property. They have not been able to develop it plans. In addition to the cancellation, we would also recommend a moratorium be placed on that site so it can be cleaned up. So, this is with the site. I've got a proposed moratorium that's delivered with to Rescheduling if you guys are interested in pursuing the moratorium on leasing.
Any questions on the request to cancel and place a moratorium so that we can get it cleaned up?
I have a question. The family is aware of this and they're totally aware.
Yeah, Mark, they had this lease, but then when the council, I don't know if you heard or not, but council approved selling Mark the trailer that they moved into after the fire, and the lease, but in order to do that, they had to give up this lease. And, no, all the family was on board with it.
Okay.
I make a motion to accept the cancellation of the lease.
And the moratorium?
Yes.
So we can have
Yes, and more claim, I'm sorry.
request is, or motion is by David,
Second.
second by Misty. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries. Resolution number
9125A.
Next up is the transfer of lease site to the Redcliffe Housing Authority. The next one, council, is a transfer of property from Julian Asari to Redcliffe Housing Authority. The lease was originally issued by the BIA to John Gilpin and Eric Gilpin in October 19, 2022. And it's due to expire. Ms. Gilpin passed away, and John decided to sell the house to the housing authority. And
private buyer. That transaction was in process for about almost a year's time, and then the buyer decided to back out of that transaction, and so we are moving that lease from that person back to the housing authority, but the housing authority's plan and accepted a tentative offer to sell to another tribal member.
I'll make a motion to approve the lease back to the housing authority, or to the housing authority, with the correction of the enrollment number on the resolution.
That enrollment number can't be right. See on the resolution. You can verify that with enrollment on this.
We have a motion by Angie.
Oh, yeah.
There's a motion by Angie.
I'll second.
All right, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll put which.
Yeah.
We'll double check on the lease number. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you guys for following up on that. Resolution
Number 9125B.
Next, the office item is the new short-term residential lease for Sarah Altman at subdivision, Wood Subdivision Lot 32 in Buffalo Drive.
To be transparent, this is the lease site that Christy Pratt Brannigan has been coming to the council and trying to declare her stake and interest in, and she did receive a lease previously for that, and we can fill you in on all the details, but I did forward all of that history over to the council so you're aware that she had that lease for 2 years, did not develop it. When she reapplied, she was ineligible at the time, or something of that history, but I forwarded you all of the details from the legal department, and the land office has determined there were other eligible applicants because Sarah was not the only applicant in addition to Christy, and so the applicant coming today is what is determined eligible by the land office, ready for consideration. And Christy did not provide comment when this was posted for public posting, because I did ask.
Is this the house?
No. It's just an empty lot down on Buffalo Drive. Any other discussion? If not, I don't know that there's a reason for inaction, or council have any questions for Wade, who's screening the applicants and doing all that work with Cameron.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is by Laura, and second by David. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, abstentions, motion carries. Resolution number
9125C.
item number 4.
Next one is William Benton and Kathy Eleanor to lease short-term residential lease at 32660 Ridge Road.
Does he already have this lease?
I'm sorry?
Does William Beckman already have this lease?
No, no, let me see.
Because it's already written on.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by David and a second by Rick. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? Motion carries. Resolution number
9125D.
next item.
David Cadotte has asked for authorization for a new short-term residential lease on Allen Road. It's in the fire number just yet. The site was previously a recreational lease, and that expired in 22, and it's undeveloped, so that's a new one on Allen Road.
Any questions?
Yeah, it says here that the typical review is still pending. Are you gonna have
All I can say is they're just a little bit behind, rather than continuing to wait. The land office recommended proceeding with council approval, and then, of course, the development will start to be subject to typical review and application.
So this would be an approval before the typical review is completed?
Of the authorization for the lease. The PIA will finally approve it until they have what they need for them to approval, and the tribal government has the PAC application process as well for residential interest.
Make a motion to approve residential lease for Bailey Cadotte.
A motion by David. Butch has a question in the discussion about clarifying that because there's no fire, we must not have a fire number yet. So when the fire number is developed, we need a fire number added. It currently just says along Allen Road, which is, there's a legal description in the resolution, but it is more challenging for us. Like folks, they don't understand legal descriptions of properties.
And once the fire number gets created, would you like the resolution updated? Is that what you're asking?
I would think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a motion by David for approval, second by Butch. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, abstentions, motion carries. Resolution number
9125E.
Last one is Tessa Smart. She's asked for a new short-term residential lease at 37 Bishop Road.
the old Manningham cabin site. Any questions?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Motion is by Butch, seconded by Angie. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, abstentions? Motion carries. Resolution number
Resolution number 9125. Think it's that. Yeah.
thank you, Wade.
Thank you, councilors.
Butch, do you have the dates through December then? We already have it.
For this year or next? I did it all. Location-wise, for the rest of this year, we'll be here with the exception of, I believe it's the first meeting
there a recommendation or something from council members that works better, or?
Versus the 21st, right?
Well, like, if we could commit to the third week or the fourth week, saying, you know, Thursday, Friday of the fourth week, or Wednesday, Thursday of the third week, that would be very helpful for people for planning purposes.
The 29th, would the 29th of September work?
No, we're talking about just in general for fourth.
We have 4 pills to retreats all over last time. I'm sorry, I'm missing that.
I like it last week.
Yeah.
So they're on the calendar right now, which has proposed January, April, July. July is hard, I'll be honest. July is very hard to schedule a retreat because of the elections and the swearing in ceremony, just that transition.
That's why I like the last.
I would say August, but.
That's fine, I was just going off of. So if you look, October, November, December is the end of the first quarter, so I just started to put it into the next one, so that follows right along. But I'm open to, it did seem like August fit better.
And we don't need to have them quarterly, or we can have them bi-monthly, 1 day bi-monthly, 2 days every quarter. We're not committed, we're just trying to have a discussion about what works best for everyone's schedule, because I understand 2 days is a lot to commit to, or we can have them 3 days every quarter. Whatever you guys think needs to happen, this is a tribal council retreat, so we're trying to secure it. Or be as helpful in planning out as possible.
The fourth week of the month would work for me if we could align those with maybe a Thursday, Friday.
Thursday, Friday.
That would work best for me
That could be the guideline. We so choose like the third and fourth, or the fourth week, and the Thursday and Friday for all the retreats.
August, and then it doesn't necessarily. I mean, yeah, January and April are good. So then you have August and September again.
We did July, would be the 30th and 31st. I don't know how much that conflict with elections and everything. That's all taken care of. Yeah, I think that we know that it's Thursday 40, or Thursday 40. It's Thursday 40, but that helps you administratively when you know that you will have to lock those in and you can't go on a trip.
It also helps new council members that have gotten elected that go quickly into the retreat and get caught up on everything that's going on.
Okay, so I'm hearing January, April, July, and October, the fourth week, Thursday and Friday. What are the dates? Let's just write the actual dates so that we're securing the location and people.
January 29th and 30th.
January 29th and 30th.
April, so it's going to be the 23rd and 24th.
April 23rd and 24th.
And 31st.
July 30 and 31. October.
29th and 30th.
20,
29th and 30th.
29th and 30th. And I would also like to establish the joint tribal council housing authority meeting that is required annually in October. So if we could establish this year's and next year's, that would be helpful. And it can be in the evening, it can be in the day. That's the other thing is if the retreats are not business day, like whatever the time that needs to happen, we can be flexible with that too.
So would it make sense in October, since we have that, that gets to be kind of lengthy, could we make it almost either a 2.5 or 3 day retreat on that? So one can be for the housing authority meeting annually?
It's not in conjunction.
No, if we had, you don't want it to be, we can do it evening, I mean, that seems like it works for us in the past.
It's too much to have it in coordination.
Everybody's got to look at
Cheryl asked it, I just think it's too much.
That's great.
In the past, I've seen it be done multiple ways, where they have had a dinner and then the meeting. I've seen it be done where they've had a lunch and then a meeting in the afternoon, but you do need a few hours or a couple of hours to go over, because the housing board is 7 people and the council's 9 people, and you're going to have your staff presenting, and it does require like a few hour commitment. So if it's an evening deal, that's fine. If it's an afternoon or a morning, we can make it work whenever. Okay.
Can you do it like the week of the 13th through the 17th, maybe like on the 15th, have a 1 o'clock or start at noon, have a lunch, and then go over at 1 o'clock already to with the housing board?
We practiced this year.
This year.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, so those, we got the 19th and 30th for the retreat, the 5th and the 20th for regular sessions. I'm a school teacher, so that's a lot of meetings that I would have to miss time in the classroom.
I'm willing to have a 5 p.m. start for the housing board council retreat if anyone else is, after hours. And we could even consider starting the executive sessions later in the afternoon, maybe at 3 o'clock. We could really work hard to make the executive session start at 3 for regular and the second Tuesday meeting. I am aware, and that's why the calendar stuff discussion was really important to me, because I would like to have my dates scheduled too, and I know that everybody, I mean, you've got a really busy schedule. She's a clinical provider, like she's busy too, so
That would be great.
and David will just remind you.
Hey, I'm the retired guy, I try to make sure I'm always there.
I make sure it's on your calendar.
Yeah,
I try to.
I need it on my
I
calendar.
try to.
I appreciate the RSVPs.
Is there, the housing board already meets 1, 2, 3, 4, the 3rd October. How about, the 29th is evening, right? What about the 28th? Tuesday, October 28th evening. Does anybody have a conflict Tuesday, October 28th in the evening?
I'm not sure if we'll upset us and say it, but that don't, that's what I'm just saying, I will not be able to. But you guys don't worry about that, but, yeah.
Do you? We have to schedule this meeting in October. Does anybody want to look at October 23rd, the evening of October 23rd? So Thursday evening, we would start after work at 5 with dinner and then move into the joint meeting. Either day. October 23rd. We'll propose a date to, who's the housing chair? Stephen? Then we'll check availability of spaces. But let's pencil in October 23rd, 5 p.m. for the joint housing board meeting for 2025. And if we could please schedule the 2026 one also. So it'll be on this calendar. I'll propose October 22nd, 5 p.m. It's the same, it's a Thursday evening. For the retreats, are we going with the work day, or would you guys like to consider a late start into the evening?
I'm okay with doing the 2 days. Is there any possibility that we start our regular meetings at 3? Or just the retreat, is that option just available for the retreats?
We don't have anything that binds our time that I'm aware of. We have a bind on the days, which is why it's on the agenda, like the October meeting this coming year, because we are gone the first Monday of the month. That third Tuesday week, that's a little more flexible, but I'm not opposed. It's just when we have executive session starting at 3 o'clock, regular session may not always start at 4:30, which might work well for our community, but it doesn't necessarily work well for our staff, which we can just work harder to flex staff schedules. I really am, what's really hard is when we have all these staff sitting here on the clock for hours, observing, I guess, government business, which is fine, but they don't necessarily flex. I don't know why. We can address that with supervisors. I'm not opposed to starting executive sessions at 3 o'clock. Is there an opposition? We have a request. Okay.
I mean, we can go with that for now.
Yeah.
The best we can for 3 o'clock, but if we have
That may be
a
acceptable.
lot of business, then we can adjust it.
I appreciate council consideration of that change.
Would council like to make a scheduled date for the retreat in October of this year? 2025.
So, we got out of town in October for Blitzen on the 20th, there and the 21st, so.
TNR one now is the 24th as well.
How about the 27th and 28th? Yeah, that would be there.
Yeah.
I can make
That
a
whole
date.
week is open.
So I'm thinking because we have all of 2026, the last Thursday and Friday of every month that we picked so far, that we consider the last Thursday and Friday this year, 30th and 31st, to hold the retreat. So there's, time would eat.
That's
Well, I mean, we're here on Labor Day, I guess.
I'll probably leave early on 8 then.
Yeah, but we're gonna
You guys is 29,
take out.
right? Oh, the 30th? Well, it's the retreat, so we can schedule it whenever we want. We can schedule it on the 31st, and we can schedule it on November 7th. We could schedule 2 different days. You don't have to even be consecutive days, guys, because I want to be considered that this is coming up really fast.
I can make the 27th and 28th the date better. I was just saying, I didn't, if that's something that was.
I think that's a lot. That's asking Misty to take off 2 more.
She just threw it out there.
I could do that.
27 and 28.
Yeah, I would prefer to be in the classroom on holidays. Because, keep the classroom and, yeah, very nice.
October 27th and 28th. How does that sound to people? Dave?
That sounds good to me.
All right. So now we have to reschedule our meeting from October. Okay, so we're not taking, are we taking action on item 11 or is it all just discussion? It's all just discussion. Okay. We will send out a revised calendar for the rest of this year and next calendar year. But we need to consider the October 22nd council meeting. Most of us will be gone. Some, I think there's a couple of folks who said they can't make it, but most of us will be gone on the 21st and 22nd.
Would have, yeah, we can do that.
So we'll be meeting on the 6th.
Yeah.
What about the 14th?
What's the 20th?
The 21st is Goodsey's 60th anniversary celebration in Menominee, the evening of the 21st, and then the 22nd will be the Goodsey board meeting, and we're inviting all full councils, just so that they can come to the celebration and then they can join the board meeting. That board meeting probably won't be that, well, it depends on how much input, I guess, but I've seen the agenda so far, it's not like really exciting. It's just that you'll have 11 full, potentially 11 full councils there.
So I'm not sure if the 14th would be the easiest date, and I'm thinking since we have our first meeting on the 6th,
What about the 20th then?
I would be okay with the 20th because that gives people time enough to give me their agenda items.
October 20th, evening. The school board meeting in October is moved to the 4th Monday, so that's why it works for me, just because it's the annual budget meeting. Okay, October 20th, 4 months, twice, so October 20th will reschedule from the 21st.
What time again?
Normal, so 3 p.m. executive session. Okay.
Is there a, an agenda been sent to us yet from Blitzy for that, 21st?
No, I just know it's an evening, so whatever I got from Teresa, I sent to you guys, or
Right.
which sent to you guys, that's all I have.
I was just asking for planning, I'll put it together, travel request and just go with whatever.
I assume everyone's gonna be traveling sometime that morning, down in the mountain. Maybe you can drive us home to GSA?
Pardon me?
You can drive us home to GSA?
Depends what time everyone wants to leave.
Before it starts? Okay, let's move on to item 13. Does anybody have any other questions on scheduling? Appreciate everyone's input and flexibility in wanting to get those on the calendar. We have 11 automatic enrollments from the enrollment department. These are all eligible tribal members. Membership committees are approved.
I make a motion to approve the automatic enrollments.
Second. We have a motion by David and a second by Shania. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries. Welcome to our newest 11 child